Wow. I don't know if it's live or not. I've been having some issues. Let's see. Okay, cool. Cool. We're good. Probably. Good. Wow. Let's get this ping out.
Yeah, and make sure you do go live on either Twitch or
I
YouTube
did.
straight away.
We're on YouTube this time. I forgot to post the link. I'll do that real quick. YouTube streaming is super weird to me. I don't know what the deal is with it. It's just kind of whack, you know? Alrighty, link's going up. Sorry about that. There you go. Okay, we should be live and good everywhere. Welcome to here. This is a place. We don't have too much to talk about this podcast, but we will talk about a bunch of random stuff, little stuff. While saying that, I think Estlo wanted to join in the world, but I think he died. But anyway, I don't have the stats pulled up. We're not going to go through all of that. If you want to see the stats, you can go on to statbot.com and go to the foundation. If you log in with your Discord, it should show up a list of servers. But yeah, all of our information there stat-wise is entirely public. And yeah, while saying that, there are simple stats in the Discord if those interest anyone. If you go to the very top, you'll see a little tab that says stats. It doesn't give you the most in-depth stats, but you get a pretty good idea of what's there, what's happening. Jesus, there's almost 2,000 messages today. That's fucking crazy. Oh, I did a bad. I did not mean to click. I was scrolling and then I accidentally clicked on the stat channel. Alright, there we go. We should be good. Everything should be fixed. Pog. There we go. So yeah, stats are at the top if anyone's interested. If you want to see the in-depth stats, go to StatBot, log in with Discord, then it'll prompt you with all the servers. Click on here. We have pretty much all of our statistical information public. But yeah. So while saying that, that's not Nestlo. I apologize, but I'm not gonna bring in random hapus or normal non-staff. But yeah, so as for things to talk about, let's see. When it comes to police stuff, I need to ask Estlo a question before I will talk about them. We don't have too much lore-wise, but we will talk about that stuff because if you looked at the important section, you would have noticed a few new channels, and I'll talk about that. But let's see. Spectral, what's the first thing I should bring up? What would be a good starter? I think we can talk about... Oh? What'd you say?
How's the police going?
I wanted to wait for Estlo before I talked about that, because I need to ask him a question. But while saying that, yeah, let's talk about lore stuff real quick. So I have a couple channels up top. I'll pull them up real quick so I don't accidentally mince my words. Recently, I've been trying to involve more people in the creation of lore, along with helping me make certain systems. And I decided, you know, it's probably not a bad idea to have an actual application for the lore keepers. But also, I want people to be able to show, not only in private but in public, their writing capabilities, because essentially what I want to do with these channels at the top, I'll have some bits of the lore in there that I've already made or that I'm currently working on, and we'll have Hapus try to come up with what their version or their vision of what I've got putting in there would be. So they would be working on their own version of the lore, if you will. And then we would kit bash everything together in a way that I like and that we all can agree with. So while saying that, I have had a couple of DMs about it and some pretty interesting takes on what I have given out. And I think there's going to be a couple really good Hapus in that group really quickly who are going to be able to help out and come up with some pretty interesting stuff for the Hapus or the Abyss. But yeah, that's going to be fun. I've been enjoying writing that stuff, man. There's a lot of janky little fucking shit that goes into everything. And it's been like a year of just writing random shit, whether it's for the police or lore systems that fucking we haven't been able to use yet. Dude, we still haven't really gotten to do situations that much. And those are fucking fun. Those are really good. But those will come with the police. Definitely. But I'm losing my track here. But yeah, Eslo, are you in the call? I think Eslo died. That's okay. Yo, watch party? I see that. Nice. I love watch parties in game, dude. That's so awesome, having a bunch of the Hapus together. Just chilling, listening to my dumbass talk about shit. It's fucking so cool. Ah, jeez. But yeah, as for other developments, lore keepers are definitely one of my bigger ones for right now because I've been needing help in that area for a while. I can only figure out so much and, I can only write so much. And making stuff make sense together is really hard too. But, so yeah, I'll have some prompts up at the very top, probably either later today or tomorrow. That'll be public. And I'll have pieces of the lore, bits and pieces, and I'll ask, or rather I'll say, hey, why don't you make your interpretation of this? Here's a public channel so we can all, see what your skill is, see how you interpret it, give others inspiration maybe. And I really like the idea of doing something like that, and involving more people into what I've been trying to create will definitely speed things along, but I think it'll also bring really good quality to what I've been working on from multiple angles and views, because I'm pretty set in my ways of what I want in a lot of cases. And with this lore stuff, I don't know. I feel being fluid in all of that stuff is a really good idea. And I think a lot of people are going to bring a lot of good input to it. So I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to release a lot of that stuff. I did release some of the earlier drafts in the police, but I think I've since made them private again. I've done a decent amount since, but there's definitely a lot more to go. It's not very fleshed out still. While saying that, though, Eslo's dead, so I'm going to talk about the police a little bit. Let's see, what's been going on with the police? There are a few topics I need to ask Eslo before I talk about them. So, let's see. We have been talking about how the police training's going to go. We have been changing some of the internal structure of the police. So, we have added a couple new roles. One of them being a helper/supervisor. This would be above the normal officers and enforcers, as somebody, if there's like a situation or something that needs, say, a higher, not necessarily the highest or super high position, but somebody who can step in and be like right from wrong. You know what I mean? So that'll be interesting to see how that works. And there you go, Colby. Why not? But yeah, so that'll be pretty interesting. The police overall are going to be pretty interesting. And I know I've been talking about them for like a year now. but there's a lot of stuff done. And there's a lot of stuff that's about to be done too. So there's definitely a lot that we need to still put into the police. You know, the police mandates are nowhere near done. And training is still, what's the word? Very much in development. So we do have a lot done for the police. We have a couple sets of models, which I do need to do more. I forget how many versions of this model I need to do, but I think it was like a total of 4 or 5. So that'll be interesting. I'm not sure how I'm going to do all of the variations, but they'll probably end up looking very similar to this version. The other version of this model is pretty drastically different color tone. This one's a little bit more friendly. The diplomatic version of this avatar does not look friendly in the slightest. It looks so authoritarian. I'll pull it up real quick. It really does look authoritarian. I don't know. This world has really not great lighting for this, but damn, camera's not gonna let me do what I want to do. Well, anyway, this one's a very gray, very gray color, like dark gray, borderline black. It's actually a pretty good color scheme. I actually like it a lot, but it definitely doesn't look the friendliest, and I'm okay with that. I like the idea of the diplomatic version of the officers being a little bit more weird looking. Hello, Colby. But there's also this. Well, I don't think the camera can pick it up. Hello. But yeah, the flames are black now, so I thought that was cool. The shields go bare. We've got the police logo on them. It's pretty cool. But yeah, there's not much that's been going on. There you go. What? You're on my left. I was like, wait a minute, where is he?
Fair enough.
But yeah, there's I need to do a couple more models. So I think one of the bigger ones that I needed to do was the patrol leader ones. So I'll need to do that for both the normal officers and the expeditionaries, which is the one that I'm in right now. So that'll be interesting. The way that the leadership versions are... oh, there's Eslo. So the patrol leader versions are pretty simple. They're going to have a toggleable Steve, and that's how they'll communicate. The Hapu won't have Visemes. The Steve, it's going to be a floater, and it'll have Visemes and be the one talking. A translator, if you will. A kind of way to skirt our existing lore's rules when it comes to Hapus not being able to talk. This is not a new idea by any means. This was used in like 2017 and 18, but it's a concept that I really have always liked. I can't remember who I first saw it using. I think it was Axis. I'm pretty sure it was Commander Axis. Fucking Axis.
That you are correct.
I think so. Little bastard. Slapping
Yes.
babies at Walmart all the goddamn time. He's a menace. I love Axis. Dude, I met Axis so long ago. I met him after I met Fancy, which Fancy's the Hapu who converted me in like 2017 or whenever the fuck that was. I think they're under Legendary in the server. I
Greetings.
forget. Hello. Welcome to here. There's not much
You know
going
how difficult it is to get up these stairs when you're lagging?
on. I don't know. Walk better, nerd. But yeah, what else was I talking? Oh yeah, police stuff. Estlo, what should I talk about for the police?
That
Slash,
is a
what
good
can
question. What do you want to talk about? I mean,
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Essentially the bullet points would be training's done and will start pretty very soon.
How much do we want to talk about
And
the
probably
training
that there's
stuff?
going to be a role purge and stuff.
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, I wouldn't go into detail yet.
That's fair.
I mean, you can learn the detail by participating in the training.
That works out. So, I guess purge stuff. So for the police, we're going to end up purging all of the existing roles, that being for who's in them. So if you're an officer in training or you're an officer, enforcer, whatever the hell you are, we're going to go bonk you out of that role. And we're going to definitely have to change the application, make a new one, make a better one. So that'll be interesting. And that's something that we're definitely going to have to work on quick. But I don't see that being a problem. The original application was pretty easy to make, and it worked decently well in my opinion. While saying that, though, we still do have the files for that, so I guess we can always just kit bash another one together. But yeah, that's not a problem for now. So when it comes to the whole training stuff and that, what exactly do we want to talk about, Eslo?
I mean,
I guess
basically the only thing we can really talk about without spoiling the training would be that we've sat down together, we finished it. The basic training is basically done. And the plan is that there will be a ping on that either later today or tomorrow. That we'll do our first training for officers and training on the 29th.
That works
which will be next week, Saturday.
That's what I was asking for, more or less, to see if we wanted to talk about that or not.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the plan. My current plan is find time slot, probably at about the same time, honestly. Because slightly previous to find time slot would have the problem of the US players not being able to join, and too much later would have the problem of, well, I'm either in the staff meeting or asleep. I can't actually do the training.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think it's bad to overlap, because ultimately the APD is supposed to be its own entity, in a sense, separate from the foundation in an operational aspect. So overlapping schedules wouldn't be a big problem in my mind. And I really don't dislike the idea of overlapping schedules, because ultimately maybe somebody doesn't want to do a raid on a day or something, and maybe we have a scheduled patrol at a similar time in the future. Then you have both options. I think that would be fun. But that's far in the future, doing scheduled, like, consistent stuff like that. Now,
we need more people for that.
Way more people. We did have a couple volunteers for moderation in the APD. And essentially what we're going to need for the APD is trainers, which I think I might have a couple in my back pocket who would be pretty good for the position.
Oh?
Maybe. We'll have to see. And then what else was I going to say? So what we're going to end up needing is trainers, which that's a really difficult one to figure out who's going to be good for that. That's probably something we're going to have to figure out down the line after we've gotten the first couple sets trained. It'll probably just have to stay within leadership right now for training. What was I going to say past that? Moderation, yeah. We do need more staff over there, because once we do get running and rolling, I have a pretty strong belief that the police are going to become very big very quickly, and I've been saying this basically since the original idea. Now, I know I've been told by multiple, probably more than multiple, probably a handful of people that I waited way too long for the police, and that this, that, yada, yada. And I understand the concerns there, but I knew from the beginning that the police was going to be a massive deal either way. And it's one of those things that even if it were to sit for a year, which it has been, there's still a whole hell of a lot of attention on it and a lot of people very interested in on it. Whether they're from the police side of VR chat or, well, they're just a normal Hapu or otherwise. The idea of the roleplay is pretty appealing. And all the various role plays that are going to be connected to it in some regard, say the Mafia or otherwise, that'll be a lot of fun when we get the Hapu Mafia going. But there's a lot of sub-projects, a lot of smaller things that have been either written out and are ready or are still in development that we're just not going to be able to use soon. So, you know, there's definitely a lot of pieces to the puzzle that aren't ready. And that's the fucking janky part about making all this stuff, because it really is like piecing together a puzzle, but you don't have the whole fucking idea of how it works. So you just start piecing together some parts that look right and that fit together. Then you finally got some big clumps of things and you can fucking put them together and start making the puzzle. That's pretty much how it is. That's actually not a bad analogy. It's pretty accurate. But yeah, what else? I think that's about it.
The
for
APD
staff.
also has the advantage of like the schedule's gonna be pretty open, considering officers will be able to form their own patrols.
That's true.
So as soon as like the first group of officers in training get through their training experience, that's one thing that I am gonna mention. You're not going to be immediately an officer or able to form your own patrols if you've just participated in the training.
Yeah.
You need to participate in 1 or 2 patrols too. But I mean, that basically makes sense. And from that point onwards, I expect it to kind of snowball, since more officers means more people that can form patrols, means more people that get interested, means more officers, means more everything.
More or
So
less.
that might explode really, really quickly.
There is a good potential of it just going Zoom, but there's also a good potential of it.
Zoom.
There's a good potential of it stagnating as well early on. So there's really 2 options in my mind. Now I think the zooming aspect is what it's going to be, because once you have normal officers out patrolling, you know, getting, not necessarily getting more members, but showing what the APD is and showing the role play, whether it's to normal Hapus who just join off their friend and see what's happening, see a patrol in action, or say someone, a VR citizen, someone from the public not associated, maybe they like the whole deal. Maybe we convert them or kidnap them or whatever. Who knows? Maybe they're interested in the police. Now, as for how the process is going to go after training, we're definitely going to have a grace period where you're going to have to be participating in patrols before you can become an officer. And I think we got a pretty good understanding of how we want to do the enforcers. So we'll do officers initially, and then the enforcers will be a tier up from the officers. That being, you'll have to go through special training for them. There's supposed to be a lot more role play intense, and the officers are supposed to be pretty
And a lot
free
more
and
serious
goofy.
and everything.
Yeah, the enforcers are pretty hard to explain group. I have it written down pretty well, but they're essentially just
Yeah.
fucking Judge Dredd.
You just gotta keep in mind that, yeah, the officers just need to be goofballs like Crispy, who always said that he has no clue what he's doing, but he was one of our best officers when we tested it.
Pretty much.
And the enforcers really need to know what they're doing, because if the enforcers make a wrong step, they're just gonna come over as shitheads. Basically, we don't want that.
That's true. We don't want the Combine fucking 4.0, or I don't even know how many Combines there's been, dude. F in chat. But yeah, we don't want anything that comes off across as, you know, directly attacking anyone or hostile in that respect. And the point of the enforcers is supposed to be more adult and kind of gritty and fucked up. But there's going to be a line in the sand that we're going to have to figure out pretty quick while we're actively messing with them, like in roleplay, in game. So that's something that we'll have to learn later on. Bruh, I'm looking at chat. I see that little fucking midget Combine with a little bonker. What else was there to talk? Oh yeah, we
Pick up
can
that can.
can.
That's amazing.
Bro, fuck that. I'm not picking up your
Is there
can.
any way to remove effects from this world? I have 9 FPS.
Yes, there's stuff over
Except
here.
for the 2 hooks there.
There's stuff.
Yeah, but only those 4. I don't see anything else.
Oh.
Can we get the fancy effect in the background to be gone? Because that's the main lag source right now.
Yeah. Better?
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Suddenly I have 20 FPS instead of 9.
I like my
Fair
colorful
enough.
bullshit. But let's see. Yeah, we'll talk about the police training a little bit more. Let me get a sip of water first. Tasty. So, yeah, we'll do it on the 29th, Eslo's birthday. That's when we'll do the initial training, and we'll probably end up doing Patrol or 2. But yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be really fun. I think now that we can actually get the police going, that we sat down and went through, and the training's pretty good. They did a good job. It looks pretty solid. It's definitely a little bit more, what's the word? There's a lot of stuff in there. It's pretty good. We'll have to expand on it more and make some areas a lot more simplistic, but it's really good as is, and I mean, we can use it to start training the officers. The officers have a pretty decent understanding of what we're expecting, not only from the training, but if you read the police mandates, you'll see, hey, the officers are supposed to be really friendly and fun and not like insane role play where they're like, going crazy, yelling at client users or some shit. Whatever. They're supposed to be fun and they're supposed to be, just chill officers. I think we do a pretty good job explaining what we want in the mandates. And, yeah, we'll definitely have to go over that, and we will go over that in the training. Because ultimately, I mean, what we want for the police, we do want role play. We want legitimate, actual good role play. But for the officers, they are supposed to be more goofy, more fun, more free, And, of course, we'll let officers and enforcers use their own custom models. So, that'll be fun. We're going to have to impose some kind of limitations, especially when it comes to imagery, because there's going to be officers from multiple groups, whether they're police groups or otherwise. And that's a really rough area when it comes into custom avatars. So we're going to have rules relating to that. Whether that's no other community symbolism, like a badge on your model, I don't know. We'll have to figure that down the road, but, when you're playing as an APD officer, we want the focus to be our community and not another one, because ultimately you're representing us as a primary. So when you're doing an activity of ours, I think it's a much better idea to not allow, potential issues to occur. You never know. You never know what people like or don't like.
As an answer to Moctane, what would happen if the APD encountered other police groups like the LPD or SHIELD? We do have an action on that which will be gone over in the training, but it's basically that the Poitron will have to decide whether they attempt to cooperate or move on to a different instance.
Yeah.
That's basically it. So just to answer that question real quick since you're on the topic.
So when it comes to stuff like that, the idea is to encourage cooperation, as ultimately we want roleplay. Now, granted, we definitely do not see eye to eye with the majority of other roleplay groups. Now, while saying that, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But community-on-community interactions are definitely going to be hard to gauge. They're definitely going to be a subject that we're going to have to learn about as we go, as we have pretty decent experience in the community sphere as is, but we're definitely letting a lot of new variables into what we're doing, and we're opening ourselves out to a lot of potential dangers at the expense of letting Hapus, be a bit more free in the role-playing activities. So when it comes to cooperation, that's something I would really like to see. I love the idea of multiple police groups encountering each other in our world, and maybe they do the patrol of the world together. Now, ultimately, I feel like that's very difficult to achieve because I think you would need some form of prior knowledge to how that community would normally operate, which definitely can pose questions. Now, a way around that is us letting them take the lead. That's one way that I found that actually works pretty well. When we have done cross-community tests, I have noticed that actually works, more than really well. When we had officers from, we're not going to specify which groups, but we had officers from multiple different police groups testing with ours. We would go into worlds and have fun, explore. Our janky officers would do our business, they would do theirs. And every once in a while we would flop who's leading the patrol. Which group, and it worked out really well. It was really fun. So cooperation is ultimately something that we have tested and we know works, but in a actual public sense, it's definitely going to be a lot harder to figure out how that's going to work. So cooperation is ultimately where we wish it to go, but we also are going to have in place, abandon the world, let them have it, that kind of stuff too, or just continue on with patrol. So there are a few ways that we'll handle that, but ultimately I would like there to be friendly interaction between the departments. Now we're going to have to really hit home in our training and in the community. Hey, we don't want our officers to go like raid other groups' HQs. I'll give a really good example because this is something that's happened in the past that I've had to yell at people about. But if you're representing the Hapu Foundation, for the love of fuck, do not go into other groups' worlds and like ooga booga around. That's not what we're about. Like, we've had early officers when we were first starting initial training, not training, testing, go into the LPD's HQ and just like, I don't even know what the word would be, just meander, just like loiter, but also kind of mess around. Yeah, that stuff's stupid as shit, because like ultimately we have goals and agendas. We shouldn't be hanging out or messing with other groups. Leave them to their devices and their worlds and whatever, and we're gonna do our shit. So we're gonna have to really emphasize and put restrictions. Hey, if you're acting as an APD officer, or you're not allowed to use these models in certain worlds, we're gonna have to hit that home, because I don't want fucking stupid ass drama. I don't want problems. I just want the Hapus to be able to roleplay. I want other groups to be able to roleplay. So we're going to have really hard restrictions on that, in my opinion. Like no APD officer models, say in other groups' HQs, without like express permission from like leadership or something. That's going to be a hard one to figure out exactly, and that's one that we need to spend more attention on. But I want to make it clear that I don't want to fuck with any groups, man. I'm just happy in our little bubble doing Hapu shit. So if that does happen in the future, and say a patrol messes with or goes into the HQ of another world, they'll have to be disciplined, if not more, because ultimately I don't want that. I don't want any drama, any problems. We all do our own version of police roleplay. We all have our own unique way of doing things, and I think that's awesome. I don't think that there needs to be very much cross-interaction in that regard. Now, I do think community-on-community interactions are really good, but only really in a controlled environment. You can have instances of cooperation work really well in public. Again, we've seen it, but I think diplomacy should really be structured. Events or interactions with other communities is something that needs to be planned out and mutually agreed on, not forced. And that's definitely hard for a lot of communities to understand. Now, most of you don't know about a lot of other communities. I'm probably in like maybe 200 something servers, but communities are whack. That's the only way that I could put it. I know, I have a bunch of Discord accounts because you used to only be able to be in 100. And I think they just upped it to 200. So now I only have 2 accounts. But that was a mess. It was hard to be in all those communities. Not like all of them were VR chat centric, don't get me wrong. But the majority of them were either creator communities or roleplay groups. Which, by the way, holy fuck, dude, there's a lot of roleplay groups. And I swear to God, most of them do not have boundaries. We also have had boundary issues in the past, though, so I can get where the problem comes from, ultimately. A lot of inexperience will drive problems like that. But one thing that I never really liked that I've seen a couple of newer police groups do is go into other police groups' headquarters and loiter or, try to interact in a higher capacity, force interaction, which is really crazy in my mind, I don't think you should force interactions like that, especially if there's tension or drama. But something I've kind of learned about a lot of other communities is everybody's, just like in life, everybody's just finding their own way, figuring things out. Nobody knows what's actually happening. No one knows right from wrong. They just do what they think is best or what they know is right. And, well, shit, I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of babies out there when it comes to communities. A lot of groups that have a lot to learn. And I don't think communities, well, there's a reason why we don't hang out with a lot of communities. Ultimately, we're isolationist, but I don't give a fuck, dude. So many communities are just fucking whack, and I've told him that. So in the end, I don't know, man. Communities are crazy. The Hapus have always done best by ourselves, you know? The Hapus have always been at their best alone. And you know, we've never really been the best with friends or alliances, and I think that's great because we can develop our own culture, which we have. And soon I think we're going to be able to interact with other groups in a higher capacity because of the police. So I think this will be pretty interesting, given our experiences thus far and the inexperiences that we've watched from other communities. I definitely think inter-community roleplay is going to be really hard to get right, at least for the next half a year. There's a lot of smaller communities coming out that want to get involved in roleplay, but ultimately don't have the experience to do, well, community on community roleplay in a fashion that's professional or, well, really manageable, in my opinion. The same thing's going to be said for the police. We're going to have to go through a lot of the same struggles that other communities are going through right now, especially newer police groups. We do have a good fundamental baseline to work with, whether that's from our experiences in the past because of the foundation or otherwise. So it's not like we're going into it blind. But the way that the APD is structured and the way that it's supposed to go, whether that's lore-wise, what's written, or what the officers are supposed to do, it's supposed to be like the hands of the abyss, if you will. You know, there's the imagery of the hand extended out as if it's Well, I can see again. Sorry about that. But yeah, so I can't hear anything though. What? Hello? There we go.
Oh no.
I got it.
You also suddenly went mute, so you got cut off mid-sentence. Something about the hand reaching out?
So essentially the APD is supposed to be our community hand, if you will. The group that's supposed to be out there with VR citizens interacting with them. Also, I'm going to go on a rant. Fuck Meta. Fuck Facebook. I'm not calling virtual reality the metaverse. And I think any community or any group that fucking calls like community on community interactions metaverse or like so fucking yeah.
Basically, keep in mind Facebook came later. Facebook stole the term.
I know they
It's been
did.
called metaverse since 17.
I know, but fuck that. Metaverse is a dumbass fucking name in the first place. It's virtual reality. Fuck your meta bullshit. And I know Meta came after the fact. Fuck Facebook. Fuck mega corporations. Fuck Mega. Meta, but also fuck Mega. That's a terrible fucking service. Goddamn paying money to upload my goddamn files. Anyway, so fuck all that shit, dude. I think Meta's just a blight on our goddamn industry. I know they're putting a lot of good money into virtual reality, and they're really trying to get involved in the space. But I think if you use the term metaverse, I think you're just helping that fucking corporation get bigger and more renowned. Instead of virtual reality being known as virtual reality, oh, we're in the metaverse. Fuck that, dude. That's fucking stupid. You will never see our documentation have metaverse. Fuck that. It'll always be virtual reality. Because this is virtual reality. Not fucking meta. Not metaverse. Anyway, that's my boomer rant. Fuck that shit. My opinions on the dumbass shit is so fucking strong.
The definition even is wrong. Like, it was never a metaverse by definition. Now that Facebook's taken it, it's wrong anyways. Because the original definition was a virtual reality space where users can interact with a computer-generated environment, which we don't have yet.
That's true.
So we don't actually have a metaverse anyways. That's funny.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
We just have a multiverse. Why did they call it metaverse?
We do have a multiverse.
That's weird.
That's true. I just think it should be called VR, dude. I don't think it's virtual reality. Now, if there's a metaverse inside of virtual reality, that's a different state, in my opinion. But ultimately, it's over. Anyway, this is a dumbass rant. I got really pissed off
We
about
suggested
this.
Hoppuverse.
The Hoppuverse? Yes. We're going to have the Hoppuverse, boys. We're going to get all the Hoppus
The Hoppu
together in one
Cinematic
movie.
Universe.
Yeah, dude. We start off with Hoppu Man, and they build a fucking big-ass Among Us suit. And they go fight some fucking people.
Oh god, no.
Hoppu,
Okay, stop,
Hoppu
stop,
in
stop.
Among
That's
Us
enough,
suit.
that's enough.
It's not Iron Man anymore, motherfucker. That would be awesome. But yeah, let's do it. Hoppuverse.
Please, no.
Oh, God. I don't know.
And chat's
That's
going
funny.
wild. Of course, chat's going wild on that. God damn it, Blaze.
Bro,
God damn
I
it.
couldn't help myself. Let's look at how many people are watching right now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
The
12,
picture
13,
from the...
14,
I haven't
17.
counted, but on the picture I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
There's
6,
about-
7, 8, 9,
I think
10,
there's about
11, 12,
50.
13, 14, 15.
I think there's about
And there's
50
15 in
total.
world.
Jeez. How many
And
are
15
watching
in
here?
world watching together.
Okay, so there's about 50 total, I think. I'm trying to get all of the different streams located. But yeah, there's somewhere just shy of 50, I think, watching. That's pretty cool, dude. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of Hoppus. Let's talk about some Hoppu stuff real quick, unrelating to the police. So this is another thing about community on community interactions. And this is a topic that we're going to be bringing up more in the podcasts as the police, well, release and we go through with them. When it comes to a lot of the newer Hoppus coming in, there's a lot of new Hoppus who have been pretty active and hanging around, whether it's in raids or the Discord. And we have had some members from other communities that they've left come into ours and interact and become a part of our community. But a lot of people who are associated with other communities have a very different view of how we see things generally. So we've had, I think it's a very good idea to keep reinforcing the fact that, hey, you know, ultimately we like other communities. I think it's dope that there's so many different role plays out there trying to do their own thing. But I want people to keep in mind, hey, you know, even if we have problems with the community or we may not like them, it doesn't mean that it's okay to like call them out or to like shit talk them in public or anything. You know, not everybody likes everybody and not everybody's gonna get along, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily okay to do those things. And since there's a lot of new people, you know, not everybody's immersed in our culture, if you will, or have those fundamental understandings, because a lot of other communities just don't really have rules like that. They do, but normally aren't enforced or normally don't really care. Now, this is with smaller communities, of course, not the bigger ones. There's a lot of very respectable groups out there. But anyway, what was I going off about? Now I forget. I went off on a big tangent. Oh yeah, about community on community stuff. So yeah, man, I just want to keep, you know, reinforcing those ideas. Hey, you know, we don't want to just call people out or be assholes about stuff, you know? Even if we don't like people, it's still good to be kosher around them. But yeah, so I just thought I'd bring that up since there's a lot of people coming in. What else do we need to bring up? I'm trying to think. We talked about most of the things I can think of. I'm not sure what else we really need to bring up. I'll think about it for a second. I've got some hot cocoa to my right. It's fucking cold.
Also, if anyone has suggestions or topics you want us to talk about, keep in mind there's a channel for that.
Yeah.
I am, as evidenced by the stream, watching the channels on the side. So
Let's see.
I'll forward everything to Blaze. He doesn't need to look unless you DM him.
Pog. Yeah, I've got two
And it's
screens
promptly
up.
used. Yeah, Mocktain says about Squire tryouts.
That's not one I can really answer. That would be better for Ash. But, I don't know if Ash is actually here.
I can say a little bit to it thanks to the meeting, but... Also, hello, Chrono. Welcome to chat.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what I can talk about there, because I'm not too sure, actually. I haven't looked into it too much. I know that it's
I
happening.
mean, essentially with the Squire meeting, Another one is planned to be very soon because we have multiple players that are interested in the Squire role. The exact dates aren't actually finished yet. As far as I'm aware, they're currently being chosen, but
Oh yeah, they're currently
we don't
being
have
voted
much
on.
information to that because there's
Yeah.
simply not enough done yet.
That's true.
It's in the works.
So I kind of forgot that it was being voted on, but you reminded me. So right now it is in the works of figuring out what days are going to work best. So we're still figuring that out. I believe that's currently up to vote and hasn't been decided, right? I think that's how it is. Apologies if that isn't
Yeah.
accurate. I don't have the channel pulled up right now. And I was there during the meeting, but I had to be in and out. So while saying that, yeah, Squire tryout should
Hold
be pretty
on,
soon.
let me check.
They should be pretty soon, though.
Yeah, the votes are. I mean, they're leaning towards one of the days, but I'm not gonna give details
Yeah, we can.
since it's by
find that
far
out.
not conclusive yet.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have it pretty soon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mention Poimotions. I haven't done a wave in a while, so the way that we do that's really fucking annoying to do. Now, the original system took me like 6 hours or something to do, which was hell.
Oh god.
The current one, well, the one after that took like 4. But the current one takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours since there's so many members. I have to go in by hand and do just about all of
Every
them.
time you optimize it, more people join and the time equalizes again.
It does. That's true too. Dude, trying to get the automatic system to work. Dude, fucking, oh my god, I hate it. So the system that I use for the automatic Poimotion system up until veteran, they fucking changed it. They changed the UI, they changed how it fucking works, they changed what I'm able to do, and I'm fucking
Oh, no.
pissed because setting up the systems has been a pain in the ass and I only have it partially working. Fucking stupid. I hate when companies change their working model into something that doesn't fucking... Anyway, I was angry about that. So I'll do a wave when I can, but I'm trying to work on a lot of other stuff too. And, you know, outside of the Hapus, you know, I have real life, but I'm also working on other projects as well. Not just Hapus and all this. So there's definitely a lot going on there. And I could definitely show someone how to do the Poimotion system I tried in the past, and that's something we'll definitely have to do. It's a pretty simple and straightforward process, ultimately, but you have to go in by hand and do every one yourself, you know? So that's the problem there. It's a slow process. But yeah, so that'll happen, just not soon. What do you think about Smecker's D&D game going on? I have no fucking clue. I know nothing.
So essentially, Smeko and a few other players have gotten together in VC one day and decided that they are interested in running a D&D campaign. They have their own thread in the games channel if anyone wants to look it up and join. As it stands, they have enough people for a full party and a bit. So they've last I've heard, Smeko was considering having a second date. Both of the timings would be US based and probably before the hunt rate, so basically inaccessible for EU players. But D&D,
F.
like it's not started yet, as far as I'm aware, but they have
I
a
thought
group
it
together
was.
and they're pretty much preparing stuff. It's not fully started. I don't know if it started yet.
I
The
don't
channel
know.
hasn't seen any activity since I created it.
Shit, I can't hear again. My headset was not doing this last night. I'll give a rundown of why my headset keeps going black. So, I don't know how this happened, but the majority of the internals of the front of my headset are just broken. Like, there's stuff rattling around
Alright,
inside
tell
of
them
my
about the
headset.
rattling parts.
The way I don't know what that is, but yeah, so my headset keeps going black, and that's for 2 reasons. One, the cable's fucked up, and 2, I don't know how this happened, but there's several internal pieces that are just broken, rattling around inside of the headset. I have no idea how that happened, but multiple of the screws that keep it in place also somehow broke. I don't know. I do sleep in my VR headset a lot of times, so maybe that had something to do with it. But I need to go get it sent in for RMA. I will do that soon. Dude, I was actually thinking about buying a new VR headset. But, like, there's no... Have you guys seen the VR market lately? We should see Oculus's new headset very soon. Or Meta's.
And
Whatever.
then stop support for the old ones.
Yeah, so that's actually...
Very true.
Bro, I'll talk about that real quick, because this is an industry fucking bullshit that I've always hated. Another reason why corporations suck cock. But ultimately, look at the original Oculus Rift. They dropped support for that real fucking fast after the new series of headsets came in. Fucking shit, dude. Oculus Quest was being supported up until Quest 2 came out, and now fucking Quest shit's super expensive. Like, I forget, I saw a controller for an original Quest go for like $50 or some shit. Which, oh my
Holy
god,
shit.
Dude.
I mean, it's still less than, for example, full-on controllers where you can do the thingies.
That's one of the dumb things about the
That's
Valve headsets.
too much for fucking...
It's too much, dude. But, like, I love the Index. I think it's a great headset. But, like, the only real oomph about it are the fucking fingies, are the hands. Like, the headset itself is great. I think the audio quality's awesome. I think it's overall just a good headset. But, honestly, there are better headsets out there. And one of the main reasons people buy the Index is just for the fingies. But the base stations
I only
are also
have the
really good.
thingies, I have a different headset.
I was thinking about buying a different headset. I like this one, but, like, it's kind of broken.
I would say people do it for the
Which one is
fingers
yours again?
and the mic quality.
Yeah, fingers and the mic quality. Totally. Mic quality's so good, dude. I bet my audio quality is pretty fucking solid. If it's not effing chat.
Your audio quality is incredibly solid.
Bro, hell yeah,
I never
dude.
know if mine is solid. Sometimes it works, sometimes people say I sound weird.
It sounds pretty good.
I have no clue.
Honestly, that's a mood.
What else to talk about? Let's see.
Have pets.
What else to talk about? I can't think of anything too pressing that we haven't talked about already. I'll bring it up
Me
one
neither.
more time. What's up?
No, I just said me neither.
Oh. Well, I'll bring this up again. When it comes to staff, we definitely are going to have Squire tryouts pretty soon. Don't have the date out yet. Outside of that, we brought this up a few times earlier, but hey, we're looking for more staff. Moderation for both the Foundation and APD. And we're going to be... What was I about to say? Fuck! I keep losing my train of thought. I haven't eaten anything yet. I'm very tired. But yeah,
What are you doing? Why are you once again not eating before doing the podcast?
I woke up at 11 and I barely was like awake. I made some food.
I don't know whether it's like 12 or 11 now, Chief.
It's 1.
I don't
about
know
to
your
be
time.
1. Yeah.
So you had an hour to eat before the podcast.
Well, I woke
and you
up.
didn't eat.
I woke up and then it took me like 15 minutes to like wake up, and then I had to do some stuff around the
That makes
house.
sense.
And then I went in the
15 minutes is
garage.
quite good in that case.
Yeah, it took me a while. So then I was in my garage for like 15 minutes smoking because I've been feeling like shit for the past few days. And I feel pretty good right now. I don't feel bad.
That's some headbutts.
Bro, I'll take I need to go buy more.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, stress is terrible, and I swear, weed is just such a good fucking stress
You do too much.
reliever. Dude, no shit. I swapped from carts to mostly bud, so now I don't actually smoke very much. But what I do smoke is
Crispy
pretty
wants you
well.
to eat your cornflakes.
My cornflakes. I have thin wheats, or what are those little things that have the sugar on them? Wheaties? I don't know. They've got like sugar coating and they're made out of like wheat. I have those under my desk right now. They're really good. But
Fuck.
yeah. As for food, I have like a thing of gummies on my desk. My grandma bought me like a box of these like weird gummies. I don't know why. I think she keeps
Eat 'em.
giving me snacks like I'm a child, and I love it. She buys me goldfish. I'm so happy.
I mean, it's always a good thing. Snacks.
Bro,
Snacks.
I get goldfish. I love goldfish. That's one of the only things I'll buy when I go to the store.
The watch party has gotten even bigger, and Spectral wants you to get ice cream, because of course he does.
I'll eat ice cream later. Let's think of other developments we should talk
It's
about.
warm enough for ice cream in your place?
No, it's
It's
fucking
literally like
freezing.
0 outside here.
Bro, ice cream is not the snack.
Don't eat ice cream.
Okay, let's see. Other things to
It's
talk
funny.
about hop
Like
related.
you just pull out the snack and drink from the fucking tree.
Yeah, I'll just fucking get it tapped. Let's drink maple syrup today, boys. Tap, tap, tap.
Lesem asks for updates on the 2.0 Hopper World.
Okay, I could talk about that, but so Jarno's the one who's supposed to be leading it. Now, I haven't talked to him about it, I haven't talked to him about it recently, and I need to do that. I've been busy with other things, so it hasn't been on my mind. So there's a few things about it. Once Jarno and we get all that figured out of what we need to do, figure all that shit out, hopefully then we can figure out what the fuck is crashing some people. Right now I'm thinking about making a couple big changes to the world. I really like how I did the new clouds, but I think I'm going to put them back to the old clouds because maybe that could be possibly attributing it to it. I don't know. I've gone in and I've tried to figure everything. Like, I thought it was a script problem for the longest time. I thought it was relating to the pedestals, and I still think it is, but I can't figure out why the fuck it doesn't work for everyone. Overall, the world is actually decently well optimized. I get pretty good FPS. Well, I guess I'm not really a good example to use because I have a 3080 and 64 gigabytes of RAM and a shitload of cores.
I also get pretty good FPS and I only have a 1060.
Oh shit.
But my RAM's pretty high too.
Again.
Hold on,
I can't hear again.
you know,
It was me. My headset went black again.
because I couldn't hear Blaze.
Blaze went ooga booga.
Ooga booga. Let's see, what else do we have here? So yeah, I'm probably going to make a couple changes to the world, make it look like the one that we use right now. I can't figure out what's causing the crashes for some computers. I don't know. I just don't fucking know. So I'll make
Yeah,
changes
me and
as
Jano
needed.
even contemplated just yeeting all the udon and remaking it, but that would be too much work.
I was thinking about doing the exact same thing, and I might actually have someone do that. I know a couple different people who are
Wow.
really proficient in udon, and I'm gonna ask a few of them. I think of what the fuck they think. It has to be a script issue. Like, I can't think of any other. Well, anyway, who knows? So, I mean, it's usable. You guys could totally use it. There's just a risk of crashing, and I can't figure out why. It's baffling me. Either way, though,
It just is.
I don't think it's a
Welcome to the
widespread
chat.
issue, right? I haven't seen it be a widespread issue.
It's not really. It hasn't really happened that much recently.
I thought it wasn't a big issue, and I still don't think it is, but we have had reported crashes, so we'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
I don't know. But let's see. New community vote for unaware
on the topic-
Poyos.
Blaze,
Huh?
Blaze, real quick. On the topic of worlds, I'm just gonna insert this here, despite it not being quite official yet. We don't have an APD homeworld. Blazequick has plans for an APD homeworld, as far as I'm aware.
Hmm.
And as far as I'm aware, Poixel and Niti have expressed interest today in participating and helping out with that.
Yeah, they
So,
sent me a DM
anyone
about it.
who wants to help out with the APD homeworld, contact Blaze.
Yeah, that works
And
out.
maybe we can get a team together. That would be great.
Yeah. So there's a couple different ideas for APT worlds. I think it's 3 or 4 different ones written down. The one that we would most likely do, I talked about with Bogo. Sorry, it's very cold. My nose is stuffy. But we had an idea for a pretty basic one for the officers. I'm not sure if we'll go through with that one, but if we do, then we have a pretty decent idea of where to start. I have one set up that I've tried to model, but it's been fucking weird. I have this idea for a fucking big-ass city world, and I've planned it out pretty well. and it would be like the main police
It's a
world
lot
project.
of long-term work.
Dude, that would take like a year of work. It's something that's not going to happen right now, but way down the line when we
Yeah,
have
but we
proper
can-
development teams, we'll do it. But
And we can always just add pieces by pieces. And the good thing about a world that big is we would be able to use it for non-public RP, which would
Yep.
be probably
main
the more
point of
high
it.
quality and more serious RP parts.
exactly.
Like,
I agree. But the main point of that world is supposed to be for roleplay interactions. So you could do roleplay situations with internal Hoppy groups. The idea is pretty cool, and it's not something that we'll get to play with now. The idea there is way too large. I like things to be pretty big. My projects are always too big, but I can't help
always
it.
overplan. And then just do as much as you can.
That's the hard
Others will look
part.
at it and go, holy shit, this is a lot.
They'll look at it and be like, the fuck is he trying to say here? What the fuck does this mean? That's how I feel whenever I look at my
That
own
too, but-
writing.
Not good, not good.
Bro, it works out. What else to say? What was I gonna say?
The community votes for the Watchers, Filthy and Poixo, and Guardian Moctane, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go check out the community vote. It's in the important section. We do have a couple of votes for Watchers and Guardians up. That being for new members to the teams. So go ahead and go vote. If you like them, click the little check mark. If you don't like them, you don't need to necessarily click the red one if you don't want to out yourself, but feel free to. But what else to see? I'm not too sure. Eventually, I would like to get a social media team going, a small one, so we can start posting and archiving pictures on Twitter and all that again. Because I really like the idea of archiving the pictures, so in a couple of years or whenever
Yeah.
people can look back and be like, hey, I remember this. Pog. So I like the idea of
initial plan
archiving.
was to...
Mhm.
Yeah, the initial plan was to put that together with like the newspaper group as two groups of the
Yeah.
overlaying news and social group, but since Cork is kind of indisposed due to IRL, we didn't really get far with that, and nothing happened yet.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest problems that we've always had is normally everything waits for me to say we're doing this or that when it comes to bigger stuff. So one of our biggest issues is we just need more of our leadership to take initiative and control projects and keep them going, because like I have to focus on like a bunch of different stuff, so I never actually really get too much done because I'm just doing little piece by piece when I should be focusing on just one thing. But we definitely need the leadership to start taking a little bit more control in those areas. Same thing with some of our other staff, initiative's really important. And, if you don't think something's, like, if you don't understand something, same thing for a lot of instances. Say you want more explanation on a raid or whatever, just ask, Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know something or don't understand something, hey, you're not going to get yelled at. Generally, you'll get a proper explanation. And yeah, so in the end, if you want to do something, say you're in the staff and you think it's a cool idea or you want to suggest something or whatever, you want to take initiative on a project, be like, hey, I got a pretty good idea, vision for this. Then just say something, speak up, because I know a lot of people are very, they have issues with social situations. It's common for a lot of people, and I think it can be very hard for people to take that step to, really express themselves, if you will. So I would implore not only our existing staff and leadership, but even Hapus, hey, go out of your comfort zone. If you think something's worthwhile, of interest, bring it up. If you need to know something or don't understand something, just ask. But yeah, I can't think of too much more to bring up on the side of community-related stuff. We talked about the majority of the stuff that I could really bring up. Most of the development stuff is pretty stagnant right now, at least. headset went black again. Thank you, headset. I hate this. It happens. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about everything I could talk about. There's stagnant developments, that being lore-related stuff that I've been working on. A lot of it's slow. A lot of it's ultimately just dependent on when I feel like doing it, which can be pretty, well, bipolar. But that's because I'm bipolar. Jeez. But yeah, that about covers it. I don't think we have anything else to really talk about.
Yeah, I'd only have to add on to that. Keep in mind that if you want explanation from things, you can ask pretty much anyone from the council, not just Blaze and Crispy.
Oh my god, please.
Because both Blaze and Crispy, as far as I'm aware, get a lot of DMs, so please ask the others. We are here.
Yeah, do me a favor.
We can answer.
And please, I don't know why everybody comes to me for shit, but for the love of fuck, there are other people and I'm busy. Like, I like it. I don't dislike messages. My DMs are open, but like, for the love of fuck, there are other people in the staff, and I don't want to deal with everything, whether it's small. There's so many small things that happen that people bring to my plate, which should be handled by a watcher or by a guardian. And it's like, okay, I don't mind answering this stuff, but I shouldn't be the one that you're messaging. That's not how this hierarchy goes. That's not how it's supposed to work. Because ultimately, sure, there's seniority, but you don't need the top's input every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, Cypoi voted correctly. Like, even some of the watchers that aren't in the council or leadership can easily answer questions, so...
Exactly. That's the case for a lot of the staff.
Like, most questions. There are some questions, like, if they have get a question that they can't answer, they'll just move it up the line.
Pretty much.
That's much better than everything instantly landing at the top.
Yeah, exactly, dude. That's something that a lot of old communities that I used to know had. Like, for instance, I used to be a part of an Arma 2 roleplay community. It was called Rise. And the staff had the same issue where all of the lower issues would be brought up to the higher staff, like development or admins. And it's like, we have helpers for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
Helpers and mods for a reason. But yeah, anyway, I'm going off topic here. But yeah, feel free to ask questions, you know, but please respect the actual hierarchy, because I do get messaged a lot for things that can be distributed to lower staff, like a watcher or guardian. But yeah, when it comes to other topics for the Foundation, development-wise, as I've said earlier, most of the stuff that I'm working on I can't really talk about because I haven't made too much progress lately. I've actually been pretty busy in real life. I have been hanging out playing games, but I've also been a little sick. So while saying that, though, yeah, the main reason why I haven't worked on too much stuff, I've been having some stuff with my doctor, I'm getting a therapist, psychiatrist, so I've been busy with all that stuff. You'll see more development-related stuff when it comes to lore and, you know, all that stuff in the...
I am fairly certain he cut off again. Oh no. Please.
Rest in peace.
Rip. You can see him getting mad at his headset. Oh no.
What a fucking waste of money. I was going on
a waste of money. It worked for years.
It did. I was going on a... What was the last thing I said?
In the amusement of you blacking out again, we forgot the last word you said. Damn it.
I remember you mentioned that you were...
Chat?
Yeah, I remember you were mentioning something about you were finished. Oh, wait. With a few developments.
Dumbass headset. Yeah. I was
Goku
talking
wants
about...
you to buy a new headset and make sure it comes from Russia.
I might.
I'm not sure why, but maybe Russian headsets are just better. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I basically was saying I was basically saying right at the end there, the reason why I haven't gotten very many developments done or not much to talk about is because I've been busy with real life. Like, I've been dealing with doctor stuff. I'm getting a therapist, psychiatrist, lots of stuff like that. So I haven't really been in the mindset to write stuff. I've been busy trying to figure out real life. But yeah, so you'll hear more about development, whether that's in roleplay or for the other groups, next couple of weeks. Especially when we get people in the Lorekeeper team, that means my job becomes 10 times easier. So, but yeah, you'll see a lot of stuff really soon, whether that's from the police within the next week, or whether it's from the Hapu Foundation. We definitely need to grow our staff on both fields because we're fucking huge, dude. Oh my god, we're one of the most active and largest roleplay communities in VR chat. There's only a few that compare and a few that are larger in activity and otherwise. So ultimately in the roleplay scene, we're pretty fucking big now. And our staff team is pretty small, and it always has been in comparison to our size. We've always been understaffed. So, while saying that, bear in mind in a lot of situations, say guardians or squires, a lot of them do, well, multiple raids a week or participate often. So, our staff can definitely be a little tired at times. So, as I've said in the past, we're always looking for new people. And the squire tryouts are going to be real soon. So, if you're interested in helping out in that regard, hey, that's pretty pog, man. That's pretty cool. Also, I'm using that unironically. Pog. But yeah, that's the last time we need to talk about any of that stuff for this week. No more staff talk. Police is going to be the main focus, definitely for the next couple of months. Not like Abyss Lorder or Hapu Foundation is going to be missed in any regard.
Hold on, do I...
Well, I'll bring up some other things.
I'm just considering whether or not to play the sound clip of Colby going that he's a bundle of joy as the Vice Admiral, but I don't think it fits.
Well, I'll say a few more things. When it comes to, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. I hate that. You know, you got that right on the tip of your tongue, and you're like, fuck! I remember. So, when it comes to other developments, you'll definitely hear... You'll definitely hear about some stuff relating to the police mandates pretty soon, as I'm going to have to give them attention. But we're also working on internal documentation as well. We are going through multiple different branches of our staff, whether that's the Watchers, Guardians, Squires, or Events team. We're currently going under a... what's the word? We're working on a lot of extra documentation for our internal staff, and we've been working on the structure of our community, trying to make it better for not only our staff and how they should be handling things, making it easier for them to, determine the course of action of a situation or when to intervene. There's a lot of stuff that we're trying to work on there. Extra documentation, new documentation. It'll impact the community in some regards, quality-wise, of course. Higher quality, better quality interactions, and more defined, a line in a sand that's pretty well defined. That way the staff has a better idea of when to act, what to act on. And, well, not just that, but how to do their roles better and how to interact with you guys better. So we're definitely working on a lot. And... outside of lore stuff, we do actually have a decent amount of stuff that we've been working on. And I hope we can talk about it a little bit more in detail soon, which I definitely think we will. And, ultimately we want quality.
Oh no. Ultimately we want That's you. Please.
What a time to be alive.
Ultimately we want
Some duct tape at it.
Ultimately, we want quality over quantity. That goes for both members and the experience. So, my headset's being a son of a motherfucker. So we'll start the end of this podcast.
Maybe we should end soon.
Yeah. So, we've talked about a decent amount of stuff. And I know we covered multiple topics repeatedly, like the staff or otherwise. I just really wanted to really, really, really wanted to hit that home. But yeah, you guys have a good idea of what we've been working on, what's going to be happening, what the main focus is going forward right now are, what our general needs are and expectations going forward. We're definitely implementing a decent amount of reform, that being for the staff internally. And yeah, so it'll be pretty interesting. Now, a lot of this isn't going to affect you guys immediately. The stuff with the police, you'll start noticing, the effect once we get patrols going. You'll start seeing how the different interactions go, the dynamic between the groups. But we're definitely far from having a lot of things done, whether that's for the APD and, well, a lot of the stuff is very early development, especially, the training guide, how we're going to be training people. That's going to change, and it's probably going to be pretty rapidly different. So, we're going to have to go around just like everyone else in the world and figure things out as we go. So, I know it's been a year of development. A lot of things for the foundation that I've talked about or promised just haven't been done or finished. It's been that way for a long time now. And I'm really happy that we can at least get some of the promises I've made done and slowly go through them and make things, well, settle everything. Get things to how they should be. And the police is definitely our biggest step towards actually finishing one of our longest and biggest projects. And I can't wait to interact with everybody, man. Whether that's from just VR citizens, fuck the metaverse, or, on communities. It's going to be a lot of fun. And hopefully you guys get to experience what we're working on. Whether it's, say, the police, whether it's a different role played like the White Clads. There's a lot of stuff that we've been working on. The Mafia, Yakuza, whatever. It's just a matter of more members and more time being able to put into these. And we should start seeing some of these pretty soon. And I believe the majority of the active developments will be done within the next half year. That being lore being to the point where I would say it's done and usable. So we definitely have a long road ahead before the developments are all settled as we have now. We still have world developments such
Oh boy.
That's enough. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with it anymore.
Finish that sentence and end it. Finish that sentence and end it.
Fuck it, dude. No, screw that. I've talked about enough development shit. You fuckers can hear about it next week when we have more stuff done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast and things booga booga caveman noises. Fuck my headset. Thank you two for joining me on this fucking janky adventure, even if I didn't let you fuckers talk that much. But it was a good podcast. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys gleaned some kind of information out of it. I tried to give you a pretty good understanding of the situation we're in, what we need, what we don't need. You get the idea. And hopefully you guys understand the direction that we're going in for the Hapu Foundation and police. And hopefully you guys appreciate the developments and transparency. So, again, thanks for watching. I've had a time. Hopefully they've had a time. And all of you have had a time. So
We did.
I'll say it.
We've
Poi
just
poi.
been vibing.
Hell yeah, dude. I'll see
Poi
you guys
poi.
later.
Poi.
Have fun at the event. Also,
And
there's
before it finally finishes.
yeah. Go
There
on.
you go.
Keep in mind, there's Kobe voice clips in the Soundbites
not.
channel. Use them.
Nope.
Yes,
There's definitely
yes.
not. No.
All right.
God, almost fell.
Last thing to bring up. There's a world hop happening right now. So go join off of Crispy or go on the events channel and go do world hop stuff. Go hang out with the Hopus. Go have fun. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. And go fucking kidnap people or some shit, dude. Go stab them in the kneecaps with your little midget
Hell
hopping
yeah.
knives, dude. Fuck them up. We'll see you guys later.